And one of the most profound lessons he taught me over the course of life is that asking for help is not a sign of weakness, it's an understanding of strength. High performers understand that. High-performing teams understand, ask each other for help. It's not because you're not capable, it's not because you're not competent, but you respect the complementary skill set. The ideas, the perspective. Could you imagine in this room, if we took a poll, is there a problem in business or really in life, if the relationship's there for it, without oversharing and it's appropriate, yes, that someone in this room hasn't grappled with and worked through and actually found a solution, not anecdotal, but at a personal, hardcore experience. Their real anecdote. But we'll never know if we don't ask, if we're not willing to ask. Sandra made one thing today earlier on the list of 4 things we were supposed to do. I forgot, maybe it was 3. I don't know. One of them was build a connection. Oh, a habit, get engaged. Clearly I wasn't making good notes, but one. Sandra, one was they were all very awesome, but one, connection. Talk to somebody for real. And I thought about that today at lunch, and I sat down and had a conversation. And in confidence, the conversation, I felt like we talked at lunch, not only about baklava, which I love, but we had a conversation that was kind of meaningful and I think helpful for both, because we could have talked about sports and weather and climate, and floods and different, but we talked like a couple of human beings, and I wanted to check off that box. I wanted not to force it, because that's going to be a robot, but just to make myself available and be vulnerable to speak some of the truth or share something, to make a connection. We got lots of time to do it, and maybe a couple beers will help, but don't depend on it. You don't need it. You can go there. I like to hide up in my room, but I know, come on, let's go down there and connect. Mentorship, asking for help. The only reason that team won the Stanley Cup in 2018 is because the defense asked the offense for help. And they didn't want to, because Ovechkin, if you're familiar with the game, is an incredible offensive player. But the defense needed him to back-check aggressively. And there's a couple kinds of back-checking. There's back-checking to check the box, everybody sees you back-checking. And there's back-checking that the team knows, where your legs burn, your teeth float in your mouth, that you may be too exhausted for your next offensive shift. The defense knows you did that. But the defense is like, why should I ask? That's in the job description. Why do we have to ask them to do their job? Why do we have to go and ask Ovechkin to back-check? Because teams do that. High performers ask them. It might be in the job description, but when you come to someone and say, Nick, I need your help, you're probably going to respond, unless you're a psychopath, which is possible, but generally speaking, you're going to respond. And I want to respond to you. There's probably a couple in here, but it's not you. I want to respond to you. And it can't be the only reason you call me all the time, man. And if it's the only reason I call you, well, that wears out. I got to reciprocate. I got to pay it forward. I have to have gratitude. It's got to come up in a whole thing. The art, asking for help. We can figure out how to do that. Not a sign of weakness, but understanding of strength. I don't think there's anything we can't do. Come what may, we got it.